MMA Rants and Raves, UFC 117. Thiago Alves versus Jon Fitch. Guys, let's talk about this fight. You basically saw a traditional grappler versus striker type of battle in this fight. You got Alves, the striker, Muay Thai, and of course you have Fitch, who's the grappler. And in many cases of mixed martial arts, it's usually the grappler that's going to win this exchange, and that's what happened in this fight. You just saw Fitch basically taking down Alves at will. It looked a little bit like a repeat of the GSP fight against Alves. He was just taking him down. Alves couldn't do anything about the takedowns. You know, he was trying his best to keep distance, to get good positions, to strike with Fitch. Fitch was just very elusive. He was ducking under some of them, and when he did, he made Alves pay by going for another takedown. And even when it seemed that Alves was trying to fight from the ground and get on top, Fitch's guard was just so good. He was able to reverse the positions, and then towards the end of the fight, he got into this body lock, which was really strong. He was able to burn a lot of minutes off that clock. And then towards the end, you know, he was able to be dominant and win that third round as well and won the fight. Now, I wanted to make a point here. People are always getting on Alves about the weight cut thing. I remember back in the Matt Hughes fight, he had trouble cutting weight. And it was a problem. Now the point being is, this weight cut thing really has an effect on fighters. It's very unhealthy for the body. You have to lose a lot of water. It has a lot of effect on the body. Now, I don't know if the brain irregularity was a cause of all this weight cutting that he has to do with his fights, but this can cause fighters to get really sick. I mean, you have to lose a lot of water. You have to dehydrate yourself. It has a tremendous effect on your body, on your immune system. And 70% of the body is water. So it's an unhealthy thing to do. You basically, to be healthy as a fighter, have to fight your natural weight class. And the point I'm making here, guys, is that Thiago Alves is not a natural welterweight. I mean, he is 5'9", but the guy is wide. He is a really wide guy. He's big boned, he has big muscles, and his body fills out. It's about 190, 195 pounds. You know, it's even more than 185. So if he cuts weight, I mean, a healthy weight cut for him might be like 185 pounds. What I'm trying to say is that his true calling, his true weight class is middleweight, not welterweight. I don't know why this guy is fighting as a welterweight. Besides the fact, I don't think anybody can beat GSP anyway. I know that sounds like a strong statement to make, especially with all these talented guys in the welterweight division. But it just seems to be that this division is so competitive that you just see the same fights happening over again. It's like Josh Koscheck 2, Jon Fitch 2 with GSP. He's fighting the same guys over. All right, there's a top tier of this welterweight division. It's just a few guys. Now, if I was a guy like Alves, if I have trouble cutting weight, if it's causing me to get sick, I would get the heck out of there. I was like, you know, forget it. I fought GSP already. It didn't work out. Move up to middleweight. The middleweight division is wide open right now, especially after what we saw in the Anderson Silva fight. He has a chink in his armor. And that division is wide open. You have a bunch of up-and-comers. You have guys coming up like Okami, who looked good. And, you know, of course, you have a lot of other middleweights out there. Bisping, and then you have Wanderlei Silva. I know he's injured. He might come back. But there's a lot of question marks. Who's really controlling this division right now besides Anderson Silva? You know, this is a wide-open division. He may be able to do damage in the middleweight division. This fight, he just didn't look crisp. He didn't look like he had the speed, the aggression. And physically, it just seemed like Jon Fitch was overpowering him. And this is a very strong guy. That's not an easy guy to overpower. It just seems that this weight cut is too much for him. It's sapping his energy, and it's preventing him from being the best he can be when he enters the octagon. I think it would be a good idea for this guy to move up to middleweight. Now, as far as Jon Fitch is concerned, wow, you know, this is a guy. He's got a few things that a lot of fighters don't have. He's extremely tough, great chin. I mean, he has got all the heart in the world. And most importantly, he's extremely intelligent. You could just see it in this fight. Even when it seems like he's in trouble, he seems to get out of it. When he was down, his guard was really good. He protects himself. He knows when he has to. He ducks under punches. He sees them coming. He's just really smart. He happens to be a very cerebral guy. And these things could really get you far. Could really get you far. Does he deserve a title shot? Absolutely. At this point, absolutely. But like I said, the question is, who can stop GSP? Now, I'm not going to get into this, but GSP has to vacate the welterweight division. I mean, he was recently interviewed in a radio. He's looking for that big super fight. He said he has one goal to accomplish, to be the best pound for pound ever. Now, if he's fighting the same guys over and over again, Josh Koscheck too, Jon Fitch too, that's not going to prove that he's that. I think a huge statement for him would be is to move on to a different weight class and win. That would be the statement that he can make, and he can do it. If anybody can do it, he can do it. He's amazing. A guy like him only comes around every 50 years. I mean, he's got this world-class athleticism, and he's able to implement this athleticism with a multitude of amazing fighting skills. You don't see anything like this in a very long time. It only happens very few times in history that you see a guy like this coming along. So once he vacates this welterweight division, then things will really get interesting in the welterweight division that is now. A lot of talented guys. It's very stacked. Anyway, that's the way I see the future of these two fighters. I think that would be the best deal for everybody if all these things took place, and it just might happen that might be the case. I'd like to know what you think about it. Please leave your comments below the video, rate this video, and subscribe, and thank you for tuning in.